BYDFi is a crypto exchange on desktop and mobile where you can spot trade, futures trade, use leverage tokens, and copy the trades of top trade. There's hundreds of crypto available on their spot exchange, as well as a free test account so you can practice futures trading without getting wrecked. BYDFi.
Hello everybody, quick video for the morning. I suppose this is the way to do it. There's no point in beating around the bush making really long videos about more or less nothing. So let's start off with the Dixie. Dixie looks like it wants to push back up a little bit on the 4 hourly, back up to the 104.2, basically that horizontal and the Bollinger Band center for the 4 hourly, but the daily is actually really decent here. So nice move and a closure back above that 20 and the 21 exponential. So we'll be looking for this to eventually make its way back up to 105.4. And I believe, and again I'm a little out of the loop because I'm just so busy at the moment, but I believe that CPI today, and what I would expect the CPI to print would be, as commodities generally are all going up, some of them going up a lot more than others, but generally all trending up. That to me suggests that CPI is going to be hotter than expected, unless they factored that in. Maybe they will. Maybe they will factor that in. Well, this is what we expect. I expect it. Do they expect it? I don't know, but I expect it. And so inflation is going to continue to creep up again. Not massively, but creep up. Fuel prices, for one, if you see, and I'm just going to bore you to death for another 20 seconds, then we'll go into Bitcoin. If fuel prices go up, that's food prices, that's commodity prices across the board, because guess what? You can't mine a single thing without fuel. You can't transport a loaf of bread without fuel. Fuel prices are added onto everything. So, and just a little tiny tidbit, did you know that 95% of the price of a pint of beer in the pub is fuel prices? That's how much it costs. If you do an actual pint of beer, is nothing. So all the transportation and manufacturing costs, not the ingredients. So realistically, a pint of beer should cost you about 15p, but it doesn't. So just think about it like that. Right, let's get into Bitcoin. So it started on the weekly. So far, we're holding on the 7 simple moving average. Usually the last stage of a run, I would say 7 simple moving average, because this is a weekly, so we are thinking about a long-term time frame, really. I still expect it to move back up towards the upper 70s, and to be honest with you, beyond that. The closure yesterday was good. The support yesterday was exactly as expected. I said if we were to pull back, this is the area that you'd try it from. If we tried it, you would have done well. And again, tried it again today. So it's been very generous in offering you the opportunity to try it. And that was that 21 and the 20 simple. So that's where it's come down to. And that's where it's trying to move from. So another attempt to the lower 70s. And if you break this area, because this, again, massive area of resistance, if you break that area, new all-time high will happen pretty quickly. Upper 70s should happen pretty quickly as well. And whether we are and have the power to continue on into the 80s and 90s, which again sounds crazy when you talk about it openly. 90,000? Yeah, I know what it sounds like, but that is the nature of the beast, and that's kind of what it would look like. And then, look, halving, 10 days around the corner. Who knows what's going to happen after that? I'm certainly looking to clear up my trading account by then, move into some significant amounts of fiat currency to perhaps maybe lay dormant for a little while, maybe a few months, maybe only really prepared to trade with about 30% of my funds, really, that I'll keep in Tether for bounces, because I believe consolidation is coming, not just for crypto but for everybody. So Bitcoin does look like it wants to move up. That's the long story short, so you can pack up and go to work now, but if you really want a little extra on top, we can have a look at S&P. S&P started to round its top off. Now look, the closure yesterday was above the Bollinger Band, so it actually did perk up quite surprisingly well at the end of the day. And now looking at the S&P futures, we're above all moving averages, so again that adds more weight to the idea that Bitcoin can move up today, because the closure yesterday was positive, surprisingly. As a result of a positive closure, and I know it didn't close green, but as far as position on the chart in relation to moving averages, it's positive. We should really be thinking about the possibility of actually going on to try to at least go back up to its previous highs and maybe a new all-time high, but it's only a matter of time, I think, before we start to see the correction of all corrections. Now, I'm not suggesting doom and gloom, but when we look at Dixie, long-term, short-term, it does still point up, so that's normally a good way to assume upside for Dixie, which usually does unfortunately correspond to downside for everything else, right? For everything else. So we'll leave it with you there. I believe we should be looking for a green day in the market and all markets, and we will take it step by step, level by level. As much as I can completely see how Bitcoin can make its way up and into like the $90,000 zones, which I do see that. There is our other forces, much bigger forces, multi-trillion-dollar daily trading volume forces, Forex, and all that sort of stuff, stocks, everybody, they are going to have an effect on our little baby Bitcoin, because as much as we like to think that Bitcoin is this huge, massive, steamrolling behemoth, it's actually just a tiny little baby in comparison to all the other things that get traded each day, and it's very much absorbed into the system right now, and so I'd be very surprised to see it move in any other direction than the broader markets. But again, as far as today is concerned, I expect them to be green. Right, thanks for watching. Hope you have a nice day. Take it easy.